Welcome back to my channel. One day ago, YN sentenced to 3 life terms plus 221 years. So let's go ahead and get into this video.
Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? On September 7, 2022, 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly, now 22, went on a shooting rampage indiscriminately, killing 3 people and wounding many others. Yeah, fam, he was riding around streaming it. Y'all on his phone like, look at me, pop, 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 look, pop, pop, ha, ha, just laughing it up, right? Well, this was Ezekiel when they finally caught up to him. That's what he looked like when they put him in the squad car, right? This is Ezekiel after he received his sentence. Big difference, ain't it, fam? See, youngsters, this y'all right now. This is a lot of y'all right now. You think it's funny as hell. This is you right now. Some of y'all right now. This is the mentality you have right now. But when that judge say 3 life sentences, or 1, take your choice, and 2 centuries stacked on top of that, this dude got 3 life sentences and 221 years.
Being able to change people's lives.
He died. If he was to come back, he'd die again. Come back, die again. He's still in prison. He come back, die again. He's still gonna be in prison. Yeah, fam. Look at that again. Look at that. That's a lot of y'all right now. You think it's funny. You think it's funny, boy. Nobody can stop you. You got all the power. You got a gun now. You got all the power. And then when they catch you, which they have caught every bad monster that has ever existed in this country, if they wanted to get them, they got them. And then look how bad Ezekiel is now. Ezekiel ain't that bad, huh? He ain't that tough, because he still had to accept those handcuffs. As bad as he is, as bad as he was, he can't break out of that prison. And even if he do, they're going to hunt him down and kill him or lock him back up. Check out this story, fam. This is cold-blooded. This is cold-blooded. All you youngsters out there, pay close attention.
This is News Channel 3 at 6.
There's nothing I can say to bring no one family member back. There's nothing I can say to get nobody in the coach, but we all got to deal with these.
So we don't necessarily know why it happened, but one thing we do know for sure is that today, I think we achieved some justice.
Ezekiel Kelly offered no explanation for his violent rampage that killed 3 people and injured 3 others almost 3 years ago. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for the News at 6. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst. Kelly will spend the rest of his life behind bars without the possibility of parole after accepting a plea deal this morning, which took the death penalty off the table. Instead, Kelly will serve 3 consecutive life sentences for the murders of Dwayne Tunstall, Richard Clark, and Allison Parker, plus an additional 221 years for the more than 24 other charges he pleaded guilty to, including attempted murder for the first terrorism charge in the history of Tennessee. All of those stemming from an almost 24-hour crime spree on September 7th of 2022. From the first murder just after midnight to his arrest after a chase through Memphis and South Haven that night. Kelly even live-streamed one of the shootings on Facebook, and as fear spread, the entire city was placed on lockdown ahead of his arrest. The district attorney says the victims' families all approved of the plea deal Kelly accepted today.
Richard Clark's brother-in-law was the only one of the victim's family members to speak directly in court today to Kelly. The now convicted murderer brought to tears when Aubrey Miller quoted scripture at him, urging him to turn to God and find himself. WREG's Shay Arthur was in the courtroom for the hearing, and Shay, I understand there were a lot of tears in there today.
Yeah, Stephanie, it was very emotional. So many tears as people really just took in the weight of the moment of being in that courtroom there. After nearly 3 years, Ezekiel Kelly will never have the chance to be out on the streets again. One relative of the victims urging him to find faith.
Let me just say this, fam. You gotta really hate yourself. Knowing what that system represents. Slavery, re-entry into slavery. Voluntary slavery is what it is. You gotta really hate yourself to just go out and indiscriminately kill people, knowing that you're throwing your life away. Either they're gonna kill you, you're gonna end up in the morgue with a wire cut in your chest, and people just eating their hamburger, eating their food, not even worried about it. Just doing whatever they got to do, stitching you up, whatever, open you up, saying, cracking jokes over your body. Or you in prison, stuck for life. You can't go nowhere unless they tell you. If you move from that location, you can only move when they tell you to move. But no matter what, you're confined to the walls of prison for the rest of your life, for the rest of your days. No more free world activities for you. You gotta really hate your own self to put yourself in that kind of position. I'm glad his ass is off the streets though, because ain't no way you can love somebody else if you hate yourself. Ain't no way you're gonna treat somebody else well if you don't treat yourself well first.
You would be pleading guilty to the charge of first-degree murder.
Originally looking at a 28-count indictment and the death penalty, 22-year-old Ezekiel Kelly now looks at 3 consecutive life sentences, plus 221 years in prison. Accepting his fate in court, he spoke to victims of his random shooting rampage and the loved ones of those he killed.
I believe there's no clothes for anyone, but I also know that there's nothing I can say to bring no one family members back.
Aubrey Miller, the brother-in-law of one of his victims, Richard Clark, who he shot and killed at a BP gas station, spoke to him, urging him to now turn to faith.
You got to look to him, who's the author and the finisher of your faith.
Miller is also a former probation officer and counselor to young men. We talked to him after court about his reaction to the sentencing.
He was just one of them in that bush that I didn't get a chance to really relate to him before that time. And now I see, as I tell many of us, if you don't understand what you don't understand, it's like the Bible would tell us, all that get understanding.
With the trial not set to start until February, time has been an agonizing detail in this case. Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy says death penalty cases can sometimes take decades to fully conclude.
Even if we'd gotten a conviction, and we're pretty confident we would have gotten a conviction, then there would have been an appeals process that would have dragged on for years.
He says this deal helps the victims and their families to not have to keep enduring the cycle of pain waiting for closure. Kelly's attorney agreed.
I think in the process of representing Mr. Kelly, he's probably what I would consider 180 degrees different than where he was when he walked in the door. He has worked hard to do a transformation of himself.
Mulroy says his team did everything possible within the bounds of the law to make sure Kelly never sees the light of day again.
Particularly this kind of random violence which terrorized an entire city for 5 hours at least and put us on lockdown. I mean, when this type of violence occurs, there will be consequences. There will be accountability.
Okay, so I really needed a new car, but I don't have great credit. And last time I bought a car, it was traumatic. I even brought my husband for backup. But we went to Drive Time. And honestly, Drive Time made this whole process so easy. I got approved online in like 30 seconds without a credit hit, and there was no high-pressure sales meetings because DriveTime lets you make a deal on your phone and shop for cars online. I got to set my own down payment and monthly payment. Everyone was super nice, and there was absolutely no drama. Look at this fool. He fell asleep. Go to drivetime.com and get a car without the drama.
I ain't got no problem with that. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock that uncivilized mud up. That's right, family. Everybody can't be saved. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't go with you. Yeah. Lock that uncivilized mud up. Can't save everybody. The sooner we get used to that, the better. There are people that are running through our communities, fam. They got to go. We can't just keep worrying about people on our side who don't look like us and the damage that they do. We got to start self. We got to get this right first within our own community where we lay our head. We cannot allow these uncivilized mutts to have safe passage. They cannot have refuge. Not at all. We got to get used to that. He is an uncivilized mutt in life. No matter what you do, if you're not helping, you're hurting. If you're not helping your community, you're hurting your community. If you're not helping your marriage, you're hurting your marriage. If you're not helping your family, you're hurting your family. Yeah. If you're not helping your co-workers, your business, you're hurting your co-worker, you're hurting your business, you're hurting your team if you're not helping. You're either helping or you're hurting. This uncivilized mutt was doing nothing but hurting others, innocent people. Family, there are some things that I do believe that comes a time, there is a time for, that's a time for killing. But that wasn't it. Indiscriminately, just going around just shooting people for the fun of it? Yeah, his ass, he got to go. He got to go. He got to go. Makes me think, who raised this uncivilized man? Who is his mama? Who is his daddy? Who raised him?